The House will soon take up the package of spending cuts narrowly approved by the Senate overnight that will slash previously approved funding for foreign aid as well as PBS and NPR. The measure now has to go back to the House for a final vote before the Friday deadline.
For many families, public television is one of their only early childhood education tools. We shouldn't be pulling the rug out of these children.
The overwhelming majority of CPB's funding flows to NPR and PBS, entities that have drifted far from their original mission and now serve as megaphones for partisan left-wing activism.
Republicans Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins joined with Democrats to oppose the measure, sounding the alarm over the impact to local public radio and TV stations. And here to help give us some insight on the local impact that spending cuts to PBS could have is Julie Newman of PBS Appalachia. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's great to be here. I feel like it's sort of like joining the family again. I feel like we've been colleagues and friends for many years.
Yes, well, I know that you have a little bit of insight as to what's going on. You just mentioned it's been quite the day for you. So let's just go ahead and find out how much of your funding comes from the government.
It's been a devastating day to be in public media. I stayed up and listened to the Senate vote live until 3 o'clock in the morning. It's something that we could foresee coming, so it wasn't a total surprise, but it certainly is devastating to PBS Appalachia as it is to PBS stations across mostly rural stations. Bigger stations in bigger cities will likely be able to survive these funding cuts, but it's a really tough road ahead for small stations. So PBS Appalachia is a bit of an anomaly. We are the first all-digital public media station in the country, which means we are the only station that does not receive federal funding through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. However, our parent company, Blue Ridge PBS, Blue Ridge Public Television, Inc., which serves Blue Ridge PBS in Roanoke and PBS Appalachia in Southwest Virginia, we're the same parent company, and they do receive that funding from CPB. So their loss of funding directly impacts and devastates us at PBS Appalachia as well. You have to think of funding for stations like ours as kind of a three-legged stool. So the federal funding is about 1/3 of our budget. State funding is about 1/3 of our budget. And then what we call viewers like you, which is the private donations and the public corporations that give to us, are about 1/3 of our funding. So we're looking at about $1 million loss. And even if stations could sustain that for a year or two, it's not a long-term sustainable loss. But the really good news here is that we have been forward thinking in seeing this coming down, coming towards us. And so we have identified some alternative programming paths that we know will keep us afloat. So while viewers may see a change in the programs they see, it may very well impact the PBS content. For example, Sesame Street, The News Hour, POV, Frontline, Masterpiece Theater, those PBS national shows that people have come to love may not be able to be part of our programming. But here's what everyone needs to know. We are going to continue at PBS Appalachia to create really great Emmy Award-winning content that serves Southwest Virginia. We are for, in, and about the communities that we serve. So we know that the agencies that have funded us, namely the Commonwealth, the Tobacco Commission, the Worrell Foundation, the Wellspring Foundation, and the Hard Rock, where we have our home and our beautiful brand new studio, we are not going to disappoint them. We are not closing our doors. We are not shutting up our station. We are certainly not looking at any layoffs. We will continue to serve our community in all these important ways, just maybe not with the PBS branding.
And let's talk a little bit about some of the programming that you do have and how, people can still continue to see that.
So that's a great question. We are all digital, and people ask me all the time, how can I watch PBS Appalachia? You can watch us all the ways you watch your favorite shows. You can watch us on Roku and Amazon Fire and Apple TV and all the platforms. The only way you can't tune in is with an antenna, which is only about 14% of viewers anyway. But we have tons of great local content, and if I could just brag about my team for 1 second.
Of course.
Really proud to say that in the 2 years since we've been on the air, we launched in June of 23, we've collected 18 Emmy Awards, and the most recent one was for overall excellence, which means they named us the best TV station in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And that's really significant. It's a responsibility to serve our community that we don't take lightly.
Well, that is an incredible accomplishment, and congratulations on that. And of course, I know that this conversation between us is going to continue, I'm sure, over the next few weeks. But thank you so much for taking the time to stop here on First at 4. Again, I know it's been a busy day for you.
It's been stressful.